Okay, I believe, let's see, 'cause this thing is kind of delayed. Let's see if it's going on. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap. Sorry about the confusion. Um, had a little technical difficulties. Had to call my IT tech, Big Sean, so he can walk me through. Him and my son helped me. So again, thank you and welcome. Um, we have another topic tonight: when people champion your illusions. And so, with that, when people champion your illusions, events, y'all, I don't know what that is, but anyhow, earlier I did a PSA on Facebook, and it wasn't streamed through this channel right here, and that's already recorded on its way. And this show right here is going to basically be about people that have these illusions, and it can be both men and women. So I'm not going to put a title, a gender title on it. Okay. But as you well know, that most of my episodes or my shows are based upon women. Okay. I know a lot of people are taking on the mindset that here's another guy, that's slandering black men and black women. That's not the case by any means. Um, Basically, I'm taking things that I see on a day-to-day basis, because you got to remember something. When I first created this show, I said I was creating this show to create a dialogue between men and women, and that's what I'm trying to do. Everybody have their way how they choose to approach things, and and this is the way that I choose to approach it. Okay, so you have to bear with me. And as I said before, if any of you people out there, both men and women, would like to be a guest on the show or like to make comments on the show, by all means, tune in. It makes it easier on me when I'm interacting with other people, as opposed to me just kind of, citing my own dialogue. So um, let's talk about it. If it's something specific you want to talk about, dial in. Just keep in mind that we're going to be respectful from my part and your part. And if you can't honor that and be respectful, then I just cut you off. It's just that simple. A lot of people try to get on these podcasts is to destroy them, for lack of better words. And it's just sad, because when I first started this podcast off back in September, we had a nice lit flow going, and I allowed several individuals, I'm not going to put it on one person, to infiltrate my show and bring in their toxic waste and cause chaos. Okay, so but we're past that now. Okay, so let's get right into this. When people champion your illusions. Now, my opinion of this is, give you an example. If I'm who I am, Vermont Williams, okay, and I have this ideology, if you will, of something that's so out of the realms of reality, but I have a lot of influence over a lot of people, whether it's my family, friends, co-workers, it doesn't matter. Because people love and respect me, at least that's what they claim, they champion the things that I advocate, even though they know it's not real. you know, and it's common. You see it every day, and it's really to narrow it down to a more simpler term. It's people jumping on your bandwagon when they don't even know what's going on. That's what champion a person's illusions is, and you have people that do that all the time. Now, I'm gonna give you an example. When I first started coming around my family again, I was very, very candid, in my belief, and I didn't hold back, and I expressed that to everybody. Okay, and I didn't realize at the time that you know the things that I was saying, I was being, I was invading other people's privacies, um, um, trying to disrupt people's belief systems. Whether I agree with it or believe it or not, it's still their right to believe and say what they want. What I have a problem with is when you have these, um, what would be the word? People that yes men and yes women. That's just always they know the things that's being said, the things are being done are not right. Okay, but yet they choose to participate. They choose to condone and support, and motivate and inspire this thing which they know is not morally or ethnically right. So it takes me back to earlier with this lady that contacted me today when she was telling me her and several of her coworkers was talking about starting a podcast about um, narcissistic people. Now, when she told me this, I automatically knew it was geared and directed towards men. Okay, because this is the problem I'm having with a lot of you black women. You won't take accountability for anything. You create an environment where people empathize with your lies. These are the illusions that I'm talking about, okay, or referring to. And they don't want to tell you what's right because they don't want to hurt your feelings. And they people feel it's easier to support a lie than to try to curb a lie. But see, not realizing it's almost like, letting a person go out this irate with a gun without trying to stop them or discourage them from going out, no matter what has happened, knowing that once they pull that trigger, you can't call that bullet back and you don't know where it's going. So you like, yeah, go out there and kill the SOB and, MF and, this is champion a person's illusions, because this is what you have to understand. And I'm going to keep saying this and keep saying this. Okay. We cannot exist in this world without each other. Despite how I may come across, I had some idiot text me last night and say, you need a hug. What the fuck do I need a hug from a nigga for? Seriously. There's no anger. There's no bitterness in me. I made choices in my life and relationships, you know what I'm saying, that didn't turn out right. That's life. It's only a very few people in this world that can honestly say they made a choice and it panned out. The majority of people have been in multiple relationships, multiple marriages. Sometimes it's not the choice, it's the individual. But you can't always put that blame on a man. We have enough, particularly black men, to contend with. We're stereotyped, we're looked upon as a threat. We have no purpose in life. If we're not giving, we're meaningless. And this is not only how the world interpret us, this is how our own people are starting to interpret us, particularly black women. So how do we bridge this gap? How do we get these people off the bandwagon that's championing other people's illusions? You got a woman, and I don't know if you remember this lady. She's on all these social media programs. She got pretty popular now. She's the bright skinned woman with the braids, with the big gap in her teeth. When she says something, she always hit the camera like she's about to hit the camera. She say, "Get the F out of here." Well, she got popular for that. How? I don't know. But as I was saying the other night, you get women like this. Now, I don't know this woman. I've never talked to her. I've watched a lot of her shows. She appeared to be sincere with champion and being an advocate for men. But do we really know her true motive behind it? Because whatever her motive is, she's become successful at it. Because now they're welcoming on a lot of shows. She's doing a lot of speaking engagement, and my hands go out to her. Now you see a lot of women doing this. This is the problem I have with women advocating for men. Okay, men are being interviewed regularly about what do they like. I recall seeing a little skit where this guy was holding his phone, and it's obvious somebody was standing back filming it, and he was interviewing women. And he asked the women, he said, "What do you think men like? Do you think men like BBLs?" And out of all the women that he interviewed that I seen that was displayed on screen, said yes. Then he interviewed the men, and all the men said no. So it's only obvious that women don't know what men want. We've been stereotyped all the way back to slavery and maybe before then. And we still have to contend with that to this day. The struggle for Black men, people, are real, okay? And I'm a prime example of that. And it's not always about the choices we make. Sometimes we play the victim. We are the victims. But people don't see that because they think we have this invisible cape. It's big S on our chest, and we can leap over tall buildings in a single bound. And there's no truth. There's no reality to that. Women won't give Black men. Well, let me reiterate that. A lot of women won't give men a chance because society has provided them with avenues where they don't have to. That's the reason you have so many women today have this mindset of entitlement. The things that they're willing to do in a relationship is so minute, it's not even worth saying you're in a relationship. I remember growing up because my grandmother pretty much raised us, along with her grown kids, their kids, my siblings, and you name it. I think it was at one time probably 20 of us staying in a 3-bedroom house. But she made it work. She kept everybody inspired, and she ruled with a strong hand. She never complained. She went to work every day. I believe she was a housekeeper somewhere out on the strip. Made sure our house stayed clean, made sure, we did our chores, made sure we did our schooling, came home cooked. That's a traditional woman. And when we had funk in the street, she was right in the front. Not like these people today when, they champion people's illusions, no matter what it is. This is based on relationships that I posted here, but I'm talking about in general. You edge people on to things that you know that's not conducive to their well-being, and then you sit in the background and watch it unfold. And usually when it's not conducive to their well-being, now as they're being rolled away on a gurney or jammed in the back of a cop car, you're sitting back telling your story when all the time you championed the whole thing. And it's the same thing in we're talking about relationships now with men and women. Why is it always women that don't have anybody can give the best advice to a person in a relationship? Both men and women. See, my thing is this, it has always been, if I can't tell you something good, I'm not going to tell you anything at all. You might not like the way it come out, but it is what it is. But I'm not going to tell you something just to appease your ego and say that I'm your family or friend and that I love you and watch you self-destruct. That's championing your illusions. Ladies and guys, we have to understand this. These facts right here. One, we can't live without each other. I don't care how much we pretend, what we say, what we buy, what position we hold in society. If we have children or don't, it doesn't matter. No woman can exist without a man. And I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to show you why men can't exist without women. Usually when women say they don't need men, you know, I'm cool on that. First things first. They made so many bad choices when it comes to relationship, and they played a part in the demise of those relationships, but they'll never admit to it. They've always played the victim. Okay. 2, women go out and they pursue these careers or jobs or whatever title you want to pull up on, because some people say their job, some people say their careers. It's just a matter of opinion. Okay. If it's income, it's income. It doesn't matter what the title on it is. That means you're rendering a service to be compensated for that service. So you're in this mindset because you traumatize a lot of you women. Now I'm gonna do gender based now. A lot of you women traumatize yourself because of the poor decisions you make when it comes to men. Okay, you go out and have babies, multiple kids, which isn't fair to the child because they got to come into all this toxicity, this drama and this trauma that's being advocated because of your poor choices. Then when you finally decide to pull away from this stuff, you're so toxic, you're worse than plutonium. And that's some of the harshest chemicals in the world known to man. That's what they make nuclear bombs out of, for those of you that don't know. Then you put on this charade for your family and friends and co-workers and get them to champion these illusions that you're about to personify. And people just jump in. They never ask any questions. You say he's bad, he's bad. I don't agree with that. Then what you women do is, keep in mind, I'm not slandering, I'm actually conveying observation. Okay, so now you've secured financial stability. You no longer need to depend on a man, so you claim. But how many of you, when your garbage disposal quit working, your AC go out, your sink get clogged up, how many of you call your friends? I know a lot of you do the DIY thing, but you're not good at it because that's normally a man's job. Granted, you have women out here that have that knowledge that can do it, but the majority of you can't. So who you rely on? A man. Now you go to the point where you're advocating. Not only are you slandering men when you're around your peers, you know, your whole purpose is to degrade men, particularly black men. I don't need nobody. I'm cool being single. But it's kind of funny to me, if you don't need no companionship, why do you, most of you women that claim that you love your independence and you like being single, go out and get cats and dogs? So psychologically, you haven't realized that to fill that void that you really need a man for, you're substituting with a pet. But no one in this world can convince you of that. You will argue that until they shut their own casket and drop you in the ground. Because so many of you people out here, both men and women, are not getting it. You live by these phallicized rules. You get people to champion your illusions. And then you think you're at peace. But like I said last night, a lot of you look in the mirrors for multiple reasons other than the right reasons. How many of you people honestly can look in the mirror and talk to yourself and reflect with that person in the mirror and wholeheartedly tell yourself, or let that person, which is your subconscious and your reflection, tell you what they see in you, the flaws that they see in you, and you accept that and try to make change? You can't do it because most of you are too busy in the mirror trying to look good. For what? I don't know. It's one thing to groom. It's another thing when you're putting on costumes. I don't get it, people. I really don't. You know, I personally don't like being single, but I will remain single until, as I've always often said, until I find a woman that's willing to play a role. Now, you recall last night, I mentioned that I quoted a few scriptures out of the Bible. Okay. And this is what gets me when people say they believe in God, they believe in God's word, but they don't have to honor it. That's almost like you saying, well, I don't believe in the law, but I'm gonna do what I want to do. Well, okay, you can say that and you can believe that. But in the back of your mind, not even in the back of your mind, in the forefront of your mind, you know that if you do the wrong thing, those people come to get you. Throughout history, you can count on one hand, probably, maybe two, if you're lucky, all the people that ever defied law and stood up and gave up their life for it. The majority of you people that parade around, I don't care about this, I don't care about that. As soon as them lights get to flashing, what do? You get to running. See, but life doesn't have those consequences anymore. See, because society has opened up so many avenues for women to put them in a position financially where now they can hold true to this claim that I'm independent and I don't need a man. But back before, when you didn't have these six-figure salaries, you wasn't allowed in certain sports, you wasn't allowed to make all this revenue off of what is it called, endorsements. You had to rely on a man for everything, even when you worked. I'm gonna give kudos to my cousin, and I don't know if she's watching tonight. I respect and love this lady so much because of all the stuff that she's been through. She still stands strong as an individual, but she never deny her need for a man. And that's so admiring to me, because you get so many women out here that still advocate, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. And I wish someone would start taking statistics of all the single women that die with these cats and dogs, so we can start, talking about it. Let's have conversations about it. What kind of fad have you embraced where you don't need the balance in your life? I'm not talking about no 50-50, okay? Because somebody said, and I agree with, there is no 50-50 in no relationships. I really don't believe that, okay? I believe a balanced relationship is about you two as a team, as a whole, as a partnership, doing whatever it takes to get you towards that objective in life, common objective in life, based on your desires to fulfill your happiness. That's a relationship. Not about the man dominating, not about the woman saying, I'm not submitting. No, it's not about that. Because most men and women in relationships don't even think like that. A woman knows that man's role is to provide and protect, and to give her the companionship and the affection that she needs and desire. And she understands her role. So there's no competing, bumping heads, being conversation bullies, argumentative, challenging a man. That's what ignorant women do. If you don't need men, why don't y'all pull y'all's resources together and go and buy a fucking island? Don't have nothing on there but women, cats, and dogs. You can't do it. See, because even though you need other women to champion you when you step out the house in these clown suits that you wear, you still have the hidden desire of a man. Because I've always said and always will say that there's no company that can produce what a man has been blessed with, whether small, medium, or large. See, because there's a science in intimacy that man cannot duplicate. You may have your vibrators, now they having these dolls, it's almost lifelike. It's not the same. It gives you that moment of gratification for those that indulge in that, but in reality, it's not the same. So keep pretending, girl, I got my toy. I don't need no nigga. But let the world that we know, let all the law fall. All the structure in this world that's in place fall, and let's see how many women that claim to be independent. Because all you women that's running around imitating men, you're going to be the first ones to get knocked down. But it's so sad. I was just reading a statistic a couple of days ago that women that's in relationship with women, you women that claim to be feminist, independent, modern day women that keep sampling the other side, you know, the DMV, domestic violence in those relationships are over 84%. So you say men are harsh, callous, cold, doggish, unconcerning, unaffectionate, unloving, but you go and get with a woman and she does more to you than a man would ever do. That's funny. You women have been allowed positions in life that you have abused and you continue to abuse. You have influenced life from the very beginning of time, and you've messed up. But no one, even these advocates for men, they say it on the surface, but in their hearts, they don't believe that women can do any wrong. You place yourself up here on a pedestal that you don't deserve to be on. It's almost like climbing the steps of the pyramid. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice to get to that peak, to build that pyramid up as great as it is. And it's the same thing with our lives. And you women don't have any compassion for life today, even for your kids. A lot of you. Your whole mindset is to infiltrate and destroy. You're like a bunch of rodents, rats. You're so blind and delusional that you go out and make all these designers and car manufacturers filthy rich. And you won't even respect the people that's around you, particularly men. That's sad to me. I never thought of all the bad choices I've made, all the things I've experienced in life, that I would ever grow up in the world and see things like this. Yeah, I've seen my parents, seen my grandparents, my uncles and aunts fight, but nothing like this. It's almost as though most of you women don't even want to live in a world with a man. And I can't even imagine some of the things that you make up in your own delusional minds that you get your family and friends to champion. A lot of you are so miserable within yourself. I don't know. Maybe you hide behind these illusions, these costumes that you wear, and I'm gonna continue to call them costumes because you look like clowns. I just seen today on a clip how they do the procedure to get all the fat out of you women's legs up into your glutes, which is your butt. Amazing. And the two women that I seen on there, after they finished, they showed it before and after in the process they were going through. The next pictures they showed, they were in the gym. If that isn't grand delusion, I don't know what it's called. Now you want people to believe that you got that body through working out. And I can guarantee you 99% of your family and friends will not say anything to you other than, oh, girl, you look good. It's so sad. Nobody wants to sacrifice for anything anymore. This is the reason a lot of men don't want to get married anymore, especially if they got anything tangible. Because you got women that are sacrificed for years just to walk away with something they never deserved. That's the reason you got so many of you women that's getting on social media. I don't care what's coming out your mouth. You look like trash. In your heart, if we could read it, it's probably trash. And all you women today basically look the same. Y'all done made those Asian people filthy rich with all that fake ass hair and shit. These are the bozo suits I'm talking about, the costumes. How is a woman or a man gonna get on social media? And this is the problem I have with the social media platform. You're 19, 20, 23, 25 years old, and you're getting on social media, giving people advice about life that you haven't even lived. But you get your family and friends that will jump on board and champion you. And most of you women that I see on social media talking, and I know sooner or later I'm gonna get the opportunity, they'll be on my show, I'll get invited to a show and meet up and be able to dialogue with these women. You know, you're not as smart as you advocate to be. That's one thing I noticed. Some of you women can articulate very well, very well. Charm a bird out of a tree. But as soon as someone questions what you're saying, what you're trying to convey, you normally stumble on your words. I see this dude, Charleston White. I don't know this cat. I really don't really care to know him. He's very intelligent, but he's goofy. And what I mean by that is, you know, it's one thing to be passionate about the things that you're saying, but you know, when I see him being interviewed or he's a guest on the show, he's jumping up and down, you know, like he's got crabs in his pants, and you know, it's just ridiculous. You know, you can convey and express your thoughts without doing all that. That's too dramatic. But it's one thing I know about him. You talk about everything in the world, but you still have skeletons in your closet, man. But yet people jump on your bandwagon. They champion everything. Why? Because they have something to gain. People that normally tell the truth don't have a lot of friends. You can ask my family and friends. When I came around solely to slaughter anybody that wasn't right verbally. And if you didn't like that, I would get into some physical things. But it comes at a point in time in everybody's life, both men and women, where you have to mature. Everybody has a maturity point, or at least they should have. Me, I'm not championing nobody's lies. Just had a situation with my oldest son, who's in Arizona, called me the other day when I was at work, and, you know, Dad explained the problem. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but, you know, he was going back and forth with his brothers, and they were trying to give him some advice about a situation, and he didn't want to hear it. And I simply had to tell him, when people give you advice, normally it's because they care. When you got people that's just telling you shit you want to hear, those people don't care about you. Usually what they do is they're setting you up to be their entertainment. And this what brought me to this title, When People Champion Your Illusions. You have so many beautiful Black women out here. I'm talking about gorgeous from head to toe without those clown suits on. But because you're influenced by your peers, you allow them to influence you to do what they're doing. So now they're telling you, girl, you look better than Kelly Rowland. No, you don't. I know Beyonce's name come up on a lot of these conversations too. To me, Beyonce is she's a very attractive woman. You can't take that away from her, but she's not beautiful. I have my categories. There's cute, there's pretty, there's fine, there's beautiful, and there's gorgeous. When you want to talk about gorgeous, you talk about somebody like Alicia Keys, Halle Berry. Those women are beyond beautiful. You average women just run around with these clown suits on, again, these long eyelashes, lips shining like you just got this, doing whatever you do. It's long hair, little baby hair here, all the rest of this. It just don't look right, ladies. But your friends are championing you to believe that it do. I just woke up this morning because I wasn't feeling too good this morning, and my phone kept beeping, so I knew I was getting texts on Instagram and stuff. So I looked. First thing I see is a sister, kind of cute sister, with her night stuff on, with this big old bozo nightcaps y'all wear, with the tank top on, breasts hanging all out the side, and the first thing she's saying in the camera is, "Wake y'all's ass up, get up." And you got all these perverts, these 24-hour monitoring perverts, these vultures. It's just coming down. I said, man, you dudes can't be serious. What do she have to offer you other than sex? Because any real woman of substance would never portray herself like that on social media, just getting up out of bed. I'm never going to get on this camera if I've been out there working in the yard, smelly, dirt all over me. There's nothing in the world that I have to say that's important that I can't go and groom up first. You women have no principles. You demoralize, devalue yourself to the degree that you don't even care. You just do whatever because somebody's going to champion it. And that's so sad. So sad. But one thing I want to say in closing, no matter the disparity, the difference between us, men and women, I'm going to always cherish you. I'm going to always love you. I'm going to always admire those that deserve to be admired. I'm going to always respect those that deserve to be respected. And for those of you that live in this world of fallacy, that choose to get up every morning and enter this world with these bozo suits on. That's what clowns do. They entertain you. They make you laugh. And every time I see you females, I laugh. I got a woman right now, and I know she's watching. She's been writing me for a couple of weeks now. Asking me to send her $75 for a phone. Where can you buy a phone for $75? Now, here's the thing. She don't live in the third world. She lives in the United States, a couple of states over. You want me to send you $75 for a phone, or you want me to believe you need a phone? Your financial ills are not my responsibility. You're just somebody that texts me that I respond to. We're not waking up together. We're not making plans for the future together. That's another mindset of entitlement. And you have thousands of these women that do that. They send these pictures, and granted, a lot of them catfish, but then a lot of them are who they say they are, but they're not about anything. All they're doing is feeding into a system that's destroying our culture. Half-naked pictures, videos of them playing with themselves. Okay, I can get that from anywhere. What about you coming into my world, bringing balance, bringing harmony, bringing peace, bringing support, bringing joy? Because I always remember my grandmother saying, never understood it then, but I understand it and value it now. Baby, never allow anyone to steal your joy. And joy encompasses a lot of things. See, when you're at peace with yourself, you're at peace with the world. You don't need people to champion you. You don't need people to validate who you are. You don't need people to pat you on the back. I can pat myself on the back. Do a better job than you, because at least I know it feels better and it's genuine. You pat me on the back, you might have a knife in the palm of your hand. You people always want someone to trust you. Trust you for what? Trust is earned, not given. With that being said, I'm going to bring this to a close. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. We're going to get this system up and running correctly. I'm about to get my boy over here because, I like to start on time. We ran almost an hour tonight, which is good. Hit those like buttons, tune in, support the channel, be a guest on the channel, because everybody has something to say. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has an opinion. Let this platform be that platform where your voice is heard. Please be safe out there. God bless you. I love you. And until tomorrow night, may the Spirit of God be with you. Take care.